are so excited to have you join us. SEDAT HR Conference is going to be a transformative experience. We'll have various speakers who will be sharing on various topics to ensure that we bridge the gap, creating a workplace where everyone feels heard, valued, and supported. See you at the conference hall.
Hi, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are joining us from. This is SEDAT HR Digest, and as you already know, we meet every Sunday at 4 p.m. exactly. So every Sunday, 4 p.m., remember to make a date with us because you already know, we come with speakers, professionals who are experts in various fields where we share knowledge for an hour every Sunday. So you are welcome to today's session. Today is time with our speakers. And yes, as you know, SEDAT HR Conference will be happening in Kumasi. And as you saw the videos on our screens, so today it's a pleasure to have one of our speakers with us to have a 1 hour session with him where he speaks to us about the conference in itself, the topic, and some other relevant details that we need. So again, I welcome you all once again. But before we begin, please, if you're joining us, wherever you're joining us from, kindly put it in the comment section, your name and then the town, the community, or the country in which you are joining us from, because we would want to acknowledge you. So please put it in the comment section whilst we try to acknowledge you wherever you're joining us from. We'll be waiting to read from you. So please don't forget to put your name and where you're joining us from, the town, the community, the country, because we would want to acknowledge you. So yes, again, you are welcome. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening once again, wherever you are joining us from. So like I mentioned, today we have one of our speakers with us for the SEDAT HR Conference, which will be happening in Kumasi. So the name of our speaker is none other than Mr. Meshach Ba. Mr. Meshach Ba. So Mr. Meshach Ba, I'm going to just read about just a few details about him so that you know who he is. So Mr. Ba is a professional human resource management practitioner with over 20 years experience in the mining industry. He has a strong capacity to apply HR requisite principles and practices that contribute to building employee capability and a sustainable, trust-inducing workplace ambience necessary for delivering on organizational objectives. He has a strong capability to design and facilitate the implementation of HR strategies and systems required to promote availability of people with the requisite capabilities and skills to deliver on business objectives. And of course, providing human resource advisory support services to senior executives and line managers. So ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are joining us from, please help me welcome Mr. Meshach Ba. Mr. Meshagban, you are welcome so my audience, myself, the entire team welcomes you to this afternoon. We know on a Sunday afternoon, you should be um resting for a new week, but you are here with us, and we truly, truly appreciate that a lot. But before I come to you, I'm seeing Pearl from Kumasi. Hello, Pearl. Welcome from joining us. I'm seeing some other people. Please put your name and where you're joining us from the comment section, because we would want to acknowledge you. Okay, so Mr. Ba, once again, you're welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, so Mr. Ba, today we are going to have 1 hour session with you where we let our audience know the conference that we are going to have in Kumasi. But Mr. Ban, before I ask you some questions, can you please share a bit of story on your journey in human resource, in your HR journey? We would want to learn from you. I believe myself, together with the audience, want to learn from you. So can you share a bit of your HR journey with us?
Okay, Mary, thank you. So much, and thank you, everyone, wherever you are hearing us. As has already been indicated, my name is Meshak Ba, Human Resource Director for Anglo-Gold Ashanti, Ghana, based at the Obuasi Mine. I have been in the human resource management profession, in other words, an HR practitioner for over 20 years. And it all happened when I joined the Obuasi Mine and had the opportunity to be enrolled onto the management training program. Specifically, I'm talking to the HR management training program. And I think it's been a successful journey for me, based on hard work, willingness to pursue excellence, and also having the right people to lead you. And I must say that I've been led. I've been led before, and now I am also leading people. So that is me. Through the journey from management training program, I have come through the various roles, from staffing manager to HR manager, senior manager, and now director for human resources. So that has been my journey so far in the HR profession.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Mr. Ba. And for myself and then the audience, that's a really awesome and exceptional journey. We would want to learn from you. That's why we are here to listen at your this afternoon. So thank you once again for accepting this. Okay, so Mr. Ban, why do you believe conferences like the SEDAT HR conference that will be happening in Kumasi, why do you think such conferences is crucial for human resource professionals?
Good. I think first and foremost, it's all about who is organizing the conference. And here we're talking about SEDAT HR Consult. We know SEDAT being a professional HR consultancy firm. And obviously with this, what it means also is that they will obviously gather the best professionals within the profession and also within industry, various cross of industry, to converge together to share ideas and insights onto the people. But the other fact also remains that no one knows it all. And so in conferences like this, it gives opportunity. If you are able to attend, you are able to at least have something that strike your memory. Something that you might not have thought about before will strike you at the conference. And that is why I believe that whenever people have the opportunity to attend conferences like this, it's important they do make time and a date to attend. this very conference that is coming for 30th October at Kumasi Golden Bean, Hotel, is one that I believe will equip people who attend, particularly those who are into the HR profession, and not just those who are already practitioners, but even people who are studying to become HR professionals will gain valuable insight when they do attend the conference.
Right. Thank you very much, Mr. Ba. Okay, so from what you said, I'm going to ask you this: the conference, is it just for HR professionals or anybody in any field, any professional or any expert in any field can register and be part of that conference?
I believe that as humans and as professionals, irrespective of their profession, the fact that you do manage people makes it imperative that when there is opportunity to attend HR conference, you need to attend. So I've spoken about those who manage people. And who are those who manage people? Supervisors manage people. Other managers who are not technically HR people also manage people. And therefore, it's important that when they have the opportunity, they must attend to gain insight to help them manage the people. People within their various teams effectively. The other group of people that I will also encourage that they do attend, like I said earlier on, are those who are pursuing various course of programs in human resource management. You do not wait until you get there before you seek for insight or knowledge like what's going to happen on 30th October. One is always good when he is already prepared today to meet the challenges of tomorrow. You don't meet the challenges before you go back to do your preparatory works. And so I believe that irrespective of where you are, whether you are at a tertiary institution pursuing a program of study in human resource management, or you are a supervisor, or you are an HR officer or an HR management practitioner, I think that this conference is right for you. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so to my audience, as you heard Mr. Meshach Ban say, he said, even regardless of what you're doing or the space in which you find yourself, but once you're managing people, once you find yourself in a space where people are, then this conference is for you. So it doesn't matter what you're doing, this conference is for you. And he also mentioned that you need to prepare, right? Whatever you are doing, preparation is the first thing for you to do. And this conference is aimed at preparing you towards that life decision. So, yes, Mr. Ban, thank you very much for that. Now, the theme for the conference is HR for Sustainable Growth, aligning strategy with business success. But Mr. Ban, the topic you will be speaking on is measuring what matters. Measuring what matters. That's using HR metrics to drive strategic decisions. Using HR metrics to drive strategic decisions. Now, please, with this topic that you'll be speaking on for the conference, how do you see the relevance of HR metrics in today's rapidly changing business environment?
Thank you. When we talk about HR metrics and the importance of it simply means applying quantifiable measures to assess the activities of HR. First of all, we all believe, and we've heard about the saying that goes that if you cannot measure, you cannot manage. So as HR professionals, how do we assess our performance? how do we ensure that we are adding value to the business? How do we quantify the value that we are adding to the business? It's all about HR metrics, analyzing data, and this data, analyzing them into numbers giving you significant insight into how we are either being effective or not being effective. We're being efficient or we're not being efficient. At the end of the day, HR is evolving. We've evolved from personnel management to HR management, and now we've started talking about business partnering. How can you be an effective partner to me unless you understand my business? HR professionals cannot be effective business partners, which is the order of the day, unless we understand the strategic direction of the business. And that is why, thank God, HR professionals are now part of strategic sessions. We sit in the meetings to discuss the challenges, and the value that we can add can only be realized when we are able to have quantifiable measures to be able to assess how we are being effective and how we are able to add value to the bottom line. So, as far as this conference is concerned and the topic that I'll be talking about, we will delve into what are the critical, or we call it the key performance indicators that we need to focus on and measure to be able to add to be able to add value to the overall bottom line of the business. Thank you.
Are so excited to have you join us. SEDAT HR Conference is going to be a transformative experience. We'll have various speakers who will be sharing on various topics to ensure that we bridge the gap, creating a workplace where everyone feels heard, valued, and supported. See you at the conference hall.
name is Patricia Vnakisi. I'm the CEO of SEDAT Consult Limited, the organizers of the SEDAT HR Conference. I'm so happy that we are having this conference, especially in Kumasi. And as SEDAT Consult as a company, we are committed to knowledge sharing, creating opportunity for networking, and ensuring that people in the HR profession advance in their careers. And that is why we put together this conference, to give the opportunity to our HR practitioners to first of all learn about the new trends in the HR space, learn about how we can be innovative and creative in ensuring that we are impacting the organization. A lot of the times, HRs are seen as cost centers, but we want to change the narrative. And if we can do that, we need to be very creative. We need to also ensure that we are leveraging on technology to be able to impact or determine or demonstrate how we are contributing to the bottom line. In this dynamic landscape of human resources, we have gathered here together to explore the most pressing trends, challenges, and the opportunities. We know that HR has evolved, and we also know that technology has enabled us to evolve. And so if we don't embrace technology, it's going to be very difficult for us.
Okay, welcome back, colleagues. I cannot find my host, but I think that I still got to share some knowledge and some foretaste to our viewers. So we've spoken about why I believe people and professionals, with of HR management should attend this program, the conference. And I think that it's going to be an insightful one. Key reason, as I've already alluded, is that no one knows it all. And when we do attend conferences like this, we get other unique insight to challenge our previous understanding. And the very topic that I'll be talking about which has to do with HR metrics and analysis, will provide much more knowledge to participants in terms of why they need to focus on the critical issues that makes differences within our profession. I believe that the 80-20 principle still applies in the field of HR management. What I'm trying to say is that it's important we are able to identify what are the critical piece of work that we need to do to bring about significant change within our organization. And unless we are able to identify the critical piece, the key performance areas that we need to focus on to bring about significant change in the organization, we will not be able to add value to the business. HR has come of age. We've moved from personnel management to human resource management, and now it's now about business partnering. We are seen to be partners to the business. We work very close alongside with other colleagues, senior executives in the organization. One team focus on common agenda. And unless we do understand where the business is tilting towards, we will not be able to add value. And after we've understood where the business is tilting towards, how do we provide or add value to the bottom line? It's all about we being able to quantify our services, we being able to apply quantifiable measures to be able to assess the value that we are adding to the business.
Mr. Ban. Right. So, Mr. Ban, I'm going to ask a follow-up question. And I believe some of our guests are also online, but please, with our guest audience, please put, if you have any question with regards to the conference, please put it in the comment section, and we would want to read it out for our speaker to answer that. So please put in your comment if you have one. Any question you have with regards to the conference, please put it in the chat box or the comment section, and we are going to read that as well. Again, if you are joining us, please put in your name, the community, the town, the country in which you are joining us from, and we would also read it out and acknowledge you as well. Right. So, Mr. Bang, as our audience are typing or would be sending in a message, let me ask you this question. So, what are some of the challenges that organizations commonly face when trying to implement HR metrics, and how can they overcome such challenges? Because some organizations, like you said, if it can't be measured, it can't be managed. So if an organization is facing a challenge with regards to HR metrics, how can they address such challenges?
I believe that people have challenges applying HR metrics because of their failure to identify what is the critical work that must be done. You know, at the workplace, there is always a lot. There's always a lot. And there are other issues that creeps in on a day-to-day basis. You may, before you get to the office, you've already imagined what you intend doing. But by the time you settle, something else has cropped up. And unless we stay focused, you will not, you'll be running around. And that is where I believe that the 80-20 principle is always true. And when we talk about HR metrics, it is also about being able to identify what is the key performance areas that you need to focus on. And when we fail as HR professionals to identify the key performance areas, that is where we seem not to be adding value to the business. And in the end, if you are not careful, you become an administrator or personnel, somebody trying to manage, pursuing administrative tasks. So it is your ability to identify the key performance areas and analyzing data in these areas, turning the data into numbers, quantifying them. These are the areas or the processes that will enable you to be seen when you have shared the output of all of the analysis and the insight that you've gotten. When you've shared these, that is where you are seen to be adding value. And when I say when you share, it's not just about sharing. You are comparing them to situations. This analysis must talk to issues. The work that has been done on the analysis, on the metrics, these metrics must talk to issues. What are the prevailing issues? Issues can be what is the situation today? What was it yesterday? What is it today? And predicting what is it going to be tomorrow if the same trend should continue. In other words, your ability to forecast on the trend.
Yeah, right. Thank you very much, Mr. Ban. That was very insightful. So I can really relate with what you said, where sometimes you get to work and then, yes, you have a planned day, but you get to work and this thing comes up, this one comes up. You realize that at the end of the day, if you're not careful, the things in which you planned for the day will be sitting somewhere, and you
Yeah.
are
So
attending to other things.
yes. So for instance, in the course of, at the beginning of the year, you have your plan. You have your plan. Your functional unit has a plan to pursue. You have identified for yourself certain deliverables. But then in the course of the year also, there are certain things that creeps in. It is up to us as HR professionals to focus on the key performance areas. And the work that we do, remember, is also about people. So here we're talking about data that relate to people. And this could span from, when we talk about data about people, it spans from, call it absences, absence management, turnover, engagement, how engaged is your workforce. And we know that unless you have an engaged and committed workforce, you will not be able, the business will not be able to achieve their overall objective. Because people are the core asset of every business that deliver an output. So if an output must be delivered, it is through people. And therefore, unless we are able to identify the key performance areas around the very people that we are managing, and to be able to analyzing the data around these same people, we will not be able to come up with programs and activities that will enable the people to be engaged and committed to be able to deliver on the key objectives of the business. And for me, this is where the importance of applying HR metrics comes in. And that is where I also believe that every HR professional must be applying HR metrics in the day-to-day activities of the functional unit.
Right. Thank you very much, Mr. Ba. Again, that was very insightful. To our audience, I hope you are putting down some notes for yourself because, like I said, in as much as we gather here every Sunday at 4 p.m., you have to ensure that the 1 hour spent, you are getting some key strategies that will help you in whatever that you're doing. So, yes, even if you didn't hear anything, Mr. Ban says, every analysis you do must speak to the issues. Your analysis must always speak to the issues. Again, he also said that have the ability to forecast. Yes, if we are talking about metrics, and you can't do any forecasting, that is where the problem is. So even if you didn't hear anything at all, just remember he said these two things, right? Have the ability to forecast and ensure that every analysis you do or you're doing speaks to the issues of the business. Thank you so much, Mr. Ban, for that. Okay, so Mr. Ban, we have HR metrics as you have already explained, right? The metrics is here, the business strategy is here. Now, how does integrating the HR metrics into the business strategy help improve employee engagement? So these two things coming together, integration, how would it help improve employee engagement?
Thank you. I've said that HR is now business partnering. And so what it means is that, previously it was like they and them. What I mean by they and them is HR, most cases, you are not part of the strategic session. And so you don't even know where the business is heading towards. But now you are part of the strategic sessions. So for instance, you've been briefed. Not that you've been briefed, you've been part of the conversations that talks about the business intending to upscale, let's say, production. Okay, the business intends to upscale production. You should be able to identify as HR professional what is in it for you as HR professional. You should be able to identify what is the work that you must do to contribute to the business intention of scaling up production. I've already said that every output is delivered by people. So if the intention is to scale up or increase production by a certain percentage, do we have the people to deliver that output? Yes or no? How many people are going to be required? If we are scaling up production, are we scaling with the current numbers of people? Or we will require same number of people? Do we have the skills currently to be able to achieve that stated objective? We are people, not machines. And as people age, by statutory obligations, people must also retire. Are we going to lose people in the course of the year through retirement, through resignations? And that is where HR metrics comes in. In terms of the skills, if we do not have the skills that is required to enable us increase production, we need to be able to run, let's say, training programs. And we're not just running training programs. We must ensure that the training program we run will bring returns on the investment that we are making on the training programs. So at the end of the day, HR metrics will come in to assess the effectiveness of, let's say, the training program that was implemented. I will go back to the statement I've made already again, that every output is delivered by people or through people. And for that matter, if the intention is to increase production, do we have a workforce that is engaged, highly engaged and committed? We cannot just sit back and based on our own personal intuitions and assumptions, make a commitment on a statement that we have an engaged workforce. The only way you can put your hand on your chest and say you have an engaged workforce is where you have done a survey, analyze the data, and the data telling you that your workforce is indeed engaged. And where there are issues, concerns, or where the engagement level is low, it then gives you some bold and confident decisions to implement certain interventions to improve on the engagement levels of your workforce. So there's no way we can be effective as HR practitioners without applying HR metrics applying HR metrics to align with business strategy. Otherwise, like I said earlier on, it becomes administrative work that we'll be doing. There's no data, there is no analysis, there is no metrics. We make decisions based on assumptions and intuitions. Those times are already gone. These days, it's about quantifiable data. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ba. Again and again, that was amazing. Thank you so much. So to our audience, as you heard Mr. Meshach Ba said, you need not make decisions based on intuition, right? Everything must be done with your data, your gathered data. Okay. So these and many other things you would hear if you join you register for the SEDAT HR conference, which will be happening in Kumasi, as you already know. So this is just to let you know that if you are missing this conference, then this is even just a tip of the iceberg, right? So if you think you are not ready, or if you have not made up your mind to register, this is the time for you to make that decision, a decision that will help you in your career or in your journey, a decision that will help you to learn, a decision that if you make it, it is going to help you, equip you with some knowledge that you need, some ideas that you would gather to help you in the work that you are doing. And it is not just for HR professionals. Please be reminded about that as well. So to our audience, if you have any question, any comments, please put it in the chat box and I'm going to read that for our speaker. Right. So Mr. Ba, so what makes this year's HR conference, or SEDAT HR conference, as I said earlier, the theme is HR for sustainable growth, right? So how does this particular conference stand out? Why is it a must attend for everybody, every professional? Why is that?
Yeah, the world is changing. The world is changing. I mean, there are new trends each day. And as HR professionals, it's important that we do come abreast. I mean, we become abreast with what is trending and what is the order of the day. And let me practicalize this. I believe that if not all of us, most of us are Christians and we do go to church. You know, one reason our churches do organize conferences, it's not that the pastor has lost or has run out of messages, no. But, you know, when a conference is held, it brings together similar pastors. And so, similarly, you may have a manager. Yes, you have an HR manager. You have an HR leader over you. You are being led, or you are already leading people. I always say that almost everybody is being led because I am an HR director. I report to an HR VP, and my HR VP also reports to a chief people officer. So we all have people who are leading us one way or the other. And so conferences like this bring together other professionals. And when we meet, you hear, and when you hear somebody, presenting from his or her perspective, sometimes other areas that you have not talked about, you haven't thought about, can trigger your thought. It can start stimulating your thought. And for me, that is why importance such conferences are. And it's not being organized by none other than SEDAT, that is well versed in assembling quality professionals, on conferences like this. So similar to what happens in our churches, where we bring people together to share ideas, to revive us. In the same manner, conferences like this, when we are able to attend, is able to cause us to reimagine, to rethink issues that we've not been thinking about. It challenges our ideas. And so, as an HR professional or somebody who is yet to be part of the HR profession, I will encourage you, wherever you are, to be part of this upcoming conference, because the knowledge that we all stand to gain, the knowledge that will be shared, and the knowledge that we will gain is always significant and phenomenal. Thank you.
Thank you to Mr. Bad. That was very insightful. Okay, so I'm going to speak about my fellow Ghanaians. And sometimes we are last minute people. Yes, we want to come, but there are other times that we'll go like, okay, I would have to wait a while. I don't know if I can make it and all of those things. So you realize that at a point when it's last minute, that's where people rush to get things. I don't know for other countries, but I'm just speaking for, so this is just a disclaimer. I'm speaking for my fellow Ghanaians. Yeah, so Ms. Abba, with a Ghanaian or anybody at all, that is finding himself or herself in such a space. The person is not really decided that he or she would come. Okay. What is just one advice that you're going to give to such a person who is just undecided whether he or she is coming for the conference?
Thank you. I would say that this conference is a must for every HR professional to attend, because the topic that will be treated, the areas that will be covering during the conference, is thought-provoking. There will be very good insight that will be shared. I am a practitioner, and I will not be talking theoretical. I will practicalize every aspect of my presentation. I don't believe in theories. I believe in practicalizing it, because that is the only way people can relate to. And I believe that if you are able to make it a point to attend, you will not regret. I look forward to seeing you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vlad. Thank you very much. So, to our audience, I hope you heard Mr. Meshagba loud and clear. This is a must attend conference. And let me also mention this, even if you can't be there physically, you can still join via online. Okay, as you know, COVID came to show us the way that you don't really need to be at a space physically. That is, if other circumstances makes it very difficult for you to be there physically, you can still join via online. So virtually, you can still be part of the conference. So make it a point to come, and people, amazing people like Mr. Meshagban and other relevant and amazing people would be there to speak to us, to show us the way, right? So make it a point to be there. All right. So Mr. Ban, please your final words to us, to our audience, to anybody listening to us or watching us from anywhere, any part of the world. What is your last words to us this Sunday afternoon?
Yeah, I mean, to you, my colleague, HR professional or HR practitioner, I mean, the profession is an exciting one to be in, or they say very challenging. And that is why it's important that we continue to learn and unlearn and then relearn. And therefore, one avenue for us to unlearn and learn is by attending conferences like this. I believe in practicalizing every knowledge gained and not just talking theoretically, because at the end of the day, the work that we do is a practice, and that is why we say HR practitioner. And for that reason, I will encourage each and every one of us to please make it a point to attend this conference in Kumasi on 30th October this month. It's going to be thought-provoking areas that we'll be talking about, and I believe that you will not regret attending. Thank you very much, and see you on that day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ba. That was a good one. Thank you very much. So to our audience, as you heard from Mr. Ba, this is a must attend. This is a must attend, regardless of wherever you are. There's no excuse, right? Because there's an option for you to join via online if other factors makes it very difficult for you to join, right? So this is a must attend. So thank you very much, Mr. Ban. Thank you once again for accepting to be with us in this room on a Sunday afternoon. We really appreciate that. And to our audience, thank you for joining us today. And as you know, today is a time with conference speakers. So the conference, which will be happening in Kumasi, we needed to have a time with one of our speakers who happened to be Mr. Meshak Ba. So thank you all for joining us. Wherever you joined us from, we are really grateful. And as you know, we meet every Sunday at 4 p.m. Every Sunday at 4 p.m. So always make it a point to join us, because missing this 1 hour with us means you are going to miss a lot, right? So make it a point to join us every Sunday at 4 p.m. Thank you all so much. See you same time next week. And until then, it's a bye from us. Thank you so much.
We are so excited to have you join us. SEDAT HR Conference is going to be a transformative experience. We'll have various speakers who will be sharing on various topics to ensure that we bridge the gap, creating a workplace where everyone feels heard, valued, and supported. See you at the conference hall.